Hello everybody and welcome to a very special but also probably most likely undeniably very long video. I hope you are sitting very comfortably in your seat because you won't be leaving it for the next 30 minutes or so if you're gonna watch the entire video. I say 30 minutes in before this one is 1 hour. I don't know how long this will be. We're gonna go through my garage today. This will be my new and improved garage tour. The last time I did a garage tour was November of last year, and now it's halfway through February of 2020. This means, of course, that a new garage tour is in order. We reached 2,000 subscribers. What a milestone. What a milestone to breach. I am so happy that we could get so far on YouTube. And now, of course, we don't stop the train. We are going for 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If that is possible, that would blow me away. If we could get another 1,000 in just a year. But yeah, today we are going to have a look at my garage, starting of course with my common cars. As you can see, I have 700 cars exactly currently. And yeah, let's start with my common cars. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? So I have my Type 2s, of course. You can clearly see them here. I'm gonna go over the commons and uncommons and things like that pretty quickly. I have Fiats here because I try to collect every Fiat. I am well on my way. As you can see, I have a lot of them here. I have some maxed out and some key, just common cars that you should have. I have 3 Firebird Trans Ams. I have the new TVR, which is good. I have the Cortina because it looks so good. I have 5 Honda Beats, of course, because you need to. I have the Citroën Meharis, 2 of them. The Austin Maxi, the TVR Vixen, the Twizy, some more Fiats here. The Chrysler Drifter and the Chrysler Town & Country. Another Austin here, 2 of them. The BMW 507, the Alfa Romeo, a Volvo, and of course the Smarts you got from the... that was a long time ago, but these are actually prize cars that you could win from events way back in the day, and I did that. So Mercedes-Benz 600, the new Land Rover, I'm gonna get to upgrading that at some point. This one is actually very surprisingly good. If you do not have this one, definitely check it out. The Lancia 2000 HF Coupe, 7.276 for 6RQ, that is actually very good. The Ford Focus Coupe Cabriolet, the Fiat Cubo, the Aston Martin Signet because it's such a meme car, and of course the Fiat Panda. The Fiat Panda is actually also very good. Probably won't say so from its win ratio. Still, 63% from a 6RQ car, that's actually quite nice. This one probably has higher though. Yeah, 70. Yeah, anyways, those are my uncommons, commons, and I don't think they are very interesting. So let's move on to the uncommons. Here we might find a little bit more of an interesting take here. So we start off with the Country Buggy, of course a very good car if you do not have it. The Brabus Roadster, which helps a lot. The Autosam, of course, everybody needs an Autosam. The Spider and the Mito, which you should also get if you do not have it already. This car is also good because of its top speed, of course. The Timar, the Sportiva, the Fiero, the Fulvia. The Fulvia is actually very, very good. So if you do not have this one, definitely check it out. Some more Fiats, of course. The Tipo is this one is actually rubbish, I must say. Like at 8RQ, it's not anywhere near as good as the Fulvia. I guess it does have the medium ground clearance though, which makes it kinda decent for 8RQ on the city streets, but that is pretty much it. Then we have the DS5. I upgraded this wrongly, unfortunately. I did a 699. You should definitely do 969 on this one. But there it is, at least I have it. The Chevy Blazer, of course. This is not the one I got from the Carrier. This is one I got later on. Still a good car sometimes. It's very niche. The DB4 I'm trying to upgrade. After that I will do the DB5, of course. The Volvos, of course, I gotta stay true to my Swedish nature. We have the Volkswagen Corrado, the TVR 280, the Renault Twizy, Nissan Patrol, Mini One, The mini one is because I want to max out all the minis because they are so... I just think they're great little cars, really. And then we have the Land Rovers. This Land Rover is so ridiculously overpowered. It's not even funny. This should definitely be rare or maybe even super rare if it keeps its current handling. I mean, these stats are absolutely absurd. And then we have the Honda Clarity, the Ford Ranger. The Honda Clarity is actually very good. Very high RQ. Mid-range MRA. Very, very good car. The Ford Ranger as well with 79 handling. It's actually quite decent. The Volkswagen Polo, the Disco Volante, the Vauxhall Frontera, which is not very good. It's actually quite underwhelming, this car. 53% win ratio here. The Corrado is actually very solid though. So if you have that, definitely keep it. We have the 924 as well. Very, very long. I've had this car for 425 days. Definitely one of the oldest relics in my garage for sure. The GTX, the 309, the Unos, the Vectra, the Twin Cam, which is a new car, which is actually really, really good. I'm gonna get to upgrading this as well. The Maserati Indy, Honda Civic, Jaguar C-Type, the Honda City Turbo. I also have two Chrysler Lasers because they are actually very good. Like very, very good. Medium ground clearance 6.686. They are actually very, very solid. Then I have the Chevy Volt. Good car. The BMW 728i, not very good. It was good when there weren't better alternatives out there. And then we have the Chevy Impala, of course. A must-have car. The Chevy Impala and also the GTX, the Plymouth GTX, are very much must-have cars in the drag RQ saver world, for sure. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Let's move on to the rares now, of which I have 252. Because I am just 39 cars away from having every single rare in this game. So that's why I have so many. So let's just quickly go through them. Let's go from this side of the garage this time. We have the Abarth 595 and the 695. Both of these are good. This one is slightly better. They are both alright actually, in terms of everything. I think I'm happy I maxed out both. Let's just say that. Then we have the Sagato. I'm trying to max this one out. I'm not gonna go through every car here. I'm just gonna click through some very interesting ones, which I like a lot. The 325iX is slightly underwhelming. Like it does its job pretty decently, but only sometimes. Then we have the Z3, good mid-range on this one. Good old car, you should definitely have that one. The Code, very good car, of course. And the Malibu, likewise. Definitely keepers, both of them. The Malibu especially, with that 86 handling on the standard tires, it really does give you a good advantage. We have the Rally Spec, of course. If you don't know, this is one of the most important rare cars there are. This is also the most used car in the entire game according to Hutch stats. So you definitely should keep a Ford Escort Rally Spec if you don't already have one. Keep two as well. Max out two. I'm gonna max out my second one at some point. Ford Focus ST170 from the Carrier. This one is not the one I got from the Carrier though. Ford Mondeo. This one is actually quite good. I think it should be 13 though. If it was 13 it would be really, really good. At 14 it's just good. We have the Ford Ranger. Interesting car. It has helped me in very many situations. You can see I've gotten a lot of use out of it over the days I've had it. Like how long have I had it? For ages, I think. Yeah, 300 days. But over 500 races, which means that's more than one race a day. If a car has over one or more race per day, you can clearly justify keeping it, for sure. We have the Lotus Elise 1.6. This is of course a brilliant little car. You should definitely keep that. The Bi-Turbo and the Ghibli. The Ghibli is good. The Bi-Turbo is meh. We have the Maserati Spider, which is a little bit better than the Bi-Turbo. I played one race in total though, over 137 days, so definitely not worth maxing it out. I have two BBRs, one of them maxed. Very good car. You should definitely keep a BBR if you don't have it. Mazda RX-7 Turbo. Decent car, I must say. Decent car. So let's scroll past until we find something interesting. The Hardtop, very, very good. For 1970s events, it's a very, very good medium ground clearance car. You should definitely keep this if you get it and max it out for old events. This car, I think, was pretty good at 15 RQ back in the day when it was super rare, but at 14 RQ now, it is very good. Like, very, very good. Definitely keep it. You get a lot of use out of it as well. It has only 53% because I often use it as an RQ saver. So that's why. But definitely keep that if you get it. The Opel GT concept, I haven't actually gotten the chance to max this one out and see what all the fuss is about, but everybody says this is absolutely brutally good, so I'm happy to have it, and I will max it out shortly when I need it in an event. Okay, we have some more interesting cars here. The Ponyville is actually quite alright at maxed out here, but nothing too special for sure. We have, of course, the beautiful 850 T5R. Of course, Volvos are hit very close to home for me. So yeah, very nice car. Happy to have it in my garage. What more is noteworthy? Of course, you can pause the video at any point to see all of the cars if I'm going over them too quickly for you. We have the Cadillac Escalade, which is actually good. At standard tires 4-wheel drive, it's actually quite good. I like that car and I use it a lot. The Dodge Stealth used to be 9 RQ with different stats. It was good then, it is good now. Definitely keep it if you don't have it and max it out for sure. Denali, very good. I'm gonna max this out at some point, just not now. It's a very, very good car though. You should definitely keep one if you don't have one. Same goes for the Honda Accord Hybrid. This one I've had for so long. 433 days, over 1,000 races. This one has very good mid-range. It is very, very good for RQ saving. Very good, solid car. It beats a lot of cars you wouldn't think it would beat. The Islero, of course, very, very quick for a rare at 4.7. Not very good mid-range though. It's a decent car for sure. Decent car, decent car. This one I'm gonna upgrade as well very soon, because this is also a very, very good car. If you do not have it, definitely try to keep it if you find it. We have the 280 GE. After the nerf, this one is actually not that good. At 13 RQ I can justify it, but then if this is 13 RQ, then the Land Rover that is now 9 RQ needs to be at least 14, you know? Yeah, and then we have something else that is interesting. Oh, well, of course, the Firebirds, which you got from a event thing far long ago as well. This is, of course, the best rare dragster, to my knowledge. It's just very, very good. So yeah, I keep that around, of course. I have one maxed out, that is plenty. I should probably have another, now that I think about it. Maybe it's not so plenty. Then we have the Pontiac Grand Am. Beautiful car, helps me a lot with different races and assortments of things. The Ram Dodge first generation, actually very good car, very good car. So is the Renault 21. I use this quite a lot. It's actually 4-wheel drive and medium ground clearance, so this one actually comes into play more often than you might think, and it's actually quite good at doing what it does best, which is city streets in the rain. It is actually quite good. Okay, what do we have next? We have anything interesting here? Well, of course, the BMW i3, beautiful little car, very, very useful on the city streets, and also like highway and things like this. It has all right mid-range. It's actually quite good. Of course, the Z4 S-Drive, if you do not have this, you definitely need it. 6.189 is absolutely ridiculous for 12 RQ, of course, and this one actually smashes face. So if you do not have one, definitely get one. This one recently went down from 13 to 12 RQ, and at 12 RQ, this one is actually very, very useful. So if you get this one, or you stumble across it, definitely max it out, and remember 996 for dragsters. Very important stuff. We have the Chevy True, beautiful car. I don't know why I said that, it's actually very ugly, but in forms of playing, when you play the car, and in forms of performance, it is a very beautiful car, for sure. Helped me out of a lot of troubled situations. This one is an absolute disappointment. I am really, really mad that I maxed it out. The only reason it has 72% win ratio is because I put it against abysmal opponents. It's actually not as good as you might think. It's quite horrible, and I regret maxing it out. The 3005, all of these Italian rares that I've maxed out, I haven't really played with a lot, 34 races, you know. So yeah, can't really say too much about them. The Mazda 3, just trying to max that one out currently. It's actually quite decent, so looking forward to having it maxed. The Pontiac Trans Am is alright, it's not too good though, but for an 80s car RQ saver, it can be quite alright sometimes. What more do we have? Of course, they nerfed my beautiful C70. It's now low. Absolutely dreadful, of course. Why do they have to nerf the Volvos? But yeah, he is low now, and he is still a beautiful car to look at, so I'm happy for him to collect dust in my garage. With 238 days, only 90 races, but a almost 80% win ratio, I am happy with him. The Caterham 7 was a beautifully good car when it didn't have standard tires, and it is still a beautifully good car with standard tires. Definitely keep it if you don't have it. What more? The Turbina, actually quite underwhelming. Goes well on test bowl, and that is quite about it. And as you can see, I have mostly put this one on test bowl. 84% win ratio, quite impressive actually. This one, very underrated car. If you get this one, you should definitely max it out. This one has helped me quite a lot throughout the days. I think this has quite a lot of races. Yeah, 183, 70% win ratio. Just a very good car, as simple as that. The Lotus Elan is alright. Definitely keep it if you do not already have it. That is my advice for that one. And then we have a lot of 11 RQs that are not worked on. The Subaru Leon, exceptional car, very good. You should definitely keep it if you do not already have it. 969 is how I would recommend you to max it out. Yeah, it helps a lot. It is good for RQ saving as well. And that is pretty much the end of the rares, guys. That was quite a ride. Okay, let's swiftly move on to the super rares. If you want to take a break, I'm fine by that. Just pause the video, go get a soda, go get some water, go get some snacks, cereal, whatever. I know this is a long haul, but I do enjoy telling you about the cars, so I'm enjoying it, although it's a long haul. Super rares, I'm just gonna quickly mention my favorites and cars that are actually useful. I'm gonna not talk too much about them, but I'm gonna tell you if they are useful. The Stilo Group N is kind of meh. I can give everything a rating out of 10 here. I would put the Stilo at a 6 out of 10. I will be very critical with my ratings. The Z4, decent car, 8 out of 10. The Z4 S-Drive, 7 out of 10. It's good for the drags sometimes. I should have probably maxed this one out 996 in hindsight actually. The Cadillac CTS, it has helped me very many times, but that is probably because I don't have any other standard tires, 18 RQ American cars. So I would probably give that a 7. The Datsun Rally car, of course, is exceptional car, 10 out of 10 by all means. You should definitely max out 1, 2 or even 3 of these. I am currently in the process of maxing out my third one, as you can see. Definitely a good card to have multiples of. You should definitely not let that one slip by you. The Abarth 131 Rally is quite underwhelming, 5 out of 10. So is the Cesianto, probably a 4 out of 10 honestly. You can skip over this car or fuse it if you'd like to. It doesn't really beat the other Italian rally cars anywhere. So yeah. The Ford Ranger Wildtrak is actually quite decent, 8 out of 10 for sure, for sure. What do we have more? The D-Type, actually also quite good. I must say, it is better than you might expect. I would rate this one a 7 or even 7.5 out of 10. Actually quite decent. The LMO02, I haven't gotten a lot of use from this, which is the problem, but it is a very good car. It's probably an 8 out of 10 car. The only issue is that it's never an event for it. You know, every Italian event we've had so far has been on road pretty much. So haven't really had any much use for it. The Lotus Elise Sprint, I am rearing to test this out. 6 races so far, 100% win ratio. You can see from the stats that this is already very ridiculous. Definitely recommend you getting one. It's probably 9 out of 10. I can't really say though because I haven't played too much with it. The RX-7, definitely an 8 out of 10 car. Very good for 90s challenges and so on. The GLA I would recommend, it's like 6.5, 7 out of 10, somewhere around there. The Outlander is absolutely outstanding. If you do not have this one, definitely check it out. 18 RQ. For super rare, all surface tire 4-wheel drive in Japan, this one is the best one by far. So definitely check this one out. Probably 8 out of 10 overall and a 9 out of 10 in its category, of course. Which would be off-road super rare Japanese cars. The Datsun of course beats it, but in the all surface tire category of course it's 10 out of 10 because it's the best one. Porsche Boxster, decent car, definitely a keeper, 7 out of 10. The Renault Sport Clio Cup car, no mid-range on this whatsoever, but an impressive 0 to 100 and an impressive handling. I would rate this one at 8 out of 10-ish, because you cannot use it on... Well, obviously you cannot use it in the rain. Otherwise it would probably be a 9 out of 10, but it would probably not been 18 RQ then. It would probably have been 19 or even 20 RQ with performance tires. So I'm glad the slick tires are holding it back, because otherwise we wouldn't see much use of the Renault Clio Cup car. Then we have the Suzuki Swift Rally Spec. It's like a lesser version of the Datsun. It's not as good, but it does have medium ground clearance, which is what sets them apart. It's still very alright. 7.5, I would say. Don't underestimate the car, because I'm telling you it's worse than the Datsun. It's still good. Like, it's still good. You should keep one if you do not have one, and definitely max it out. It will help you. 7.5 out of 10. The Vauxhall VX220, I haven't used it enough to tell you how good it is. There hasn't really been an event for it at all. 92 races, 61% win ratio. I would say it's decent, but I don't know exactly. The Phaeton is good. Probably 8 out of 10. It's very solid. It has helped me a lot. Like a lot. Very good car. The Scirocco R, likewise. This car is actually playing way out of its league. I would probably be alright with this being 19 RQ. It's actually very good at 18 RQ. I would rate it an 8.5 even maybe out of 10. Very good car. Then we have the Tiguan and the Touareg. The Touareg is slightly better on the straight stuff, and the Tiguan is slightly better on the twisty stuff. I would rate them both around 7 out of 10. They are decent cars for sure. The 850, actually a very good car. I would rate this one an 8 out of 10 for sure, because of the medium ground clearance, the standard tires, the 81 handling. Very good car. I enjoy using it a lot. What do we have more? The Ford Galaxy, good car, a solid car, actually. Looks absolutely hideous. 38% win ratio. That's because I used it in a Ford event where people had better Fords than the Galaxy. So don't take those stats into consideration. It's actually quite a decent car. I would rate it 7 out of 10 for sure. Then we have the XJS Trans Am, which is slightly underwhelming at 97 handling. I find it losing more than what I find it winning. Let's have a look at the stats and let's see. 17%, that's alright I guess, but that's because I put him against a very easy opponent for him, so I can be sure that he wins. I would rate him a 7 out of 10, which is not horrible. It's still a car you should definitely look into if you get it. I have 3 of them. I'm waiting for some sort of thing to happen to them. I don't know what will happen to them, but if something happens to them, I will be here waiting with my 3 XJSs. So yeah, very decent car, 7 out of 10 for sure. The Lamborghini Miura, this one is actually very quick for a super rare. I would rate it, like, it's not very versatile, right? So I would rate it 7.5 out of 10 because it's not very versatile, and that's the only reason. The JCV is absolutely dreadful. You should definitely not max it out. It's a free 4 out of 10 at best. It is medium. It did help me in one event, as you can see, because nobody else had a maxed out Mini. So yeah, but yeah, it's not very good. It's not very good. The Montero Black Edition is quite good at 83 handling, but it's nothing compared to its 18 RQ brother, which is much better, the one I just showed you before. This one is probably a 7 out of 10, but a quite solid 7 out of 10. I must give it. Definitely do keep it around. I would keep it around actually. Any of these two, the Montero Black Edition or the Montero SG4, I would keep around and max. Because 83 handling comes in handy more than what you might think. The 911S 2.7, it's decent. It's not as good as it used to be. That's all I have to say, because if you don't know, a little history lesson about this car. It used to be low, and it also used to be rare. And when it was better, in my opinion. We have the R21 Turbo Europa Cup. This is an absolute unit of a car. Very, very good car. 9 out of 10 for sure. Slick tires, 4.897. What is there more to say? 17 RQ. This one is very good at its RQ point. What do we have more here? Of course, personal childhood favorite car of mine, the Volkswagen New Beetle. I remember playing this in Midtown Madness 3 when I was a kid, and I'm happy to have it in the game. In terms of stats, it's probably like a 5 out of 10, but in terms of me remembering my childhood, it's a 10 out of 10 for sure, so definitely a keeper here. I would never want this car in real life, but I have a very special bond with this particular car. Then we have the Abarth 124 Spider. Beautiful little ride. This one is definitely a 7 out of 10, no doubt. 92 handling really gives that a little bit of an extra punch, which it really needs. The 520D Touring is very, very useful, but it's not very good. So I would rate it 6 out of 10, because it is very, very useful, but it's not very good. That's the problem. You can see 57% win ratio. It is decent, like, it's better than decent. That's why I put 6, because decent is 5. So, you know, 6 out of 10. Then we have the C2R2 Max. This is an absolute beast. Like, I cannot give this any other rating than 10 out of 10. Definitely 10 out of 10. Even though it got moved up to 16 RQ, it is still 10 out of 10. Like, look at these stats. They are quite ridiculous for 16 RQ, and they were even more ridiculous for 15 RQ. But definitely a car you should look into if you are in the business of getting super rares, which you probably are if you're playing the game. Then we have the Lamborghini Miura Roadster. I don't think this was justified to go up to 16. I don't know. I think it is a very good car. It has incredible mid-range. Of course, it does bits on the 1 miles and the test bowls. But was it really that useful? Like, in hindsight, the other Miura is more useful in my opinion. Like, it wins on half-mile drag, it wins on quarter-mile drag, and it wins on every circuit with a corner in it. And that is 17 RQ, and I think this was justified at 15 RQ. But they moved it up to 16, and at 16 I would probably rate it a 6.5 out of 10. It is not very good anymore. It never really was as good as people hyped it up to be. But yeah, nevertheless, it is a car in my garage that has a pretty good win ratio, and it's of course a piece of Top Drive's history, so I'm going to keep it around. The Lancia D24 Pininfarina, this has an incredible 0-60, but don't get fooled by that, because it's actually very dreadful, because it has very, very bad MRA. I would not recommend keeping this car. If you get it, fuse it, honestly. The Spirit R, though, is the absolute opposite. This is a very good car. If you get this one, definitely keep it around. The 95 handling on this car definitely helps it to elevate to something better than just a super rare, let me tell you. What do we have more? This one is very underwhelming as well. I wouldn't max it out. Probably a 4 out of 10. Don't do it. The Rover is actually pretty good now, because if you can see, it's medium, 91 handling. This one is actually good, so if you have this one from the price way back in the day, if you have nothing else to max out, I would consider this one, because it's actually pretty good. You might not think so, because it used to have very bad stats, but now it has pretty good stats for 16 RQ, and I very much like to use it. So I would rate that probably a 7. At its current state. It's definitely a car that people look over. Yeah. The Subaru XT is now medium and 16 RQ. And at 16 RQ, I think the Subaru XT is a 9 out of 10. At 14 RQ, it was a 10 out of 10 for sure, but it's still a 9 out of 10. This still does bits on the G-Force, it still does bits on the car park, it still does bits on the slalom test, and it will definitely now do bits on the city streets tracks. At 16 RQ, it might be a little bit steep, considering this car is very, very niche. but it still will do the job better than any other standard tires 4-wheel drive at 16RQ when it comes to the G-force test for sure. So it's a very good car still, definitely keep it around if you have it. I hope you maxed it out before the update. If you didn't, unlucky, but if you get it, still max it out today. The 850R is not very good, I must admit, but it's cool looking with the graffiti wall in the background. The Abarth 1000 TC, decent car, not as good as you might think from the stats. I would probably give it a 6.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, somewhere around there, and not too good. The Tributo Ferrari is actually doing better than I expected. It has helped me quite a lot so far. I would still rate it only 6.5 out of 10, but it's still a car I would consider getting if you want an RQ saver for those city streets. The Giulia, absolutely insane car. Definitely a 9 out of 10. This one on slalom test is unlike anything else. It can beat cars with 90-91 grip without any issue because of its nimble form. If you have the luck of getting the Giulia TC, definitely keep it around. Right, do I have any more interesting 15RQ cars? Of course, the new Lotus M100 Elan. As you can see from the stats, this is actually quite good at 15RQ, and I would consider keeping one around. 7 out of 10. And then we have the Porsche Boxster. Actually, alright, this is the definition of a meh car, so 5 out of 10. It's very much average. 5 out of 10 for sure. Keep it if you want, don't keep it if you don't want to. I don't know how the Alkyone is at Super Rare. It was very bad at Rare in my opinion, but at Super Rare maybe it's better with its handling buff. We will definitely have to wait and see. The C70 is not very good, but it's a niche car and it actually comes in very handy sometimes. So for that reason I would boost it up to a 5.5 out of 10 instead of a 4 out of 10 if I would have put it if it wasn't a niche car that comes in handy. Alright, that was all the super rares. I will continue doing the numeric ratings. Alright, time for another little break. If you are feeling comfortable, let's move on. If you are not, pause the video, do something about it, make yourself feel comfortable, and let's get into the ultra rares. Okay. So, starting off beautifully with the Abarth 030. Such a good car. Such a good car. I must say, 10 out of 10. Like, it helps me so much at 22RQ. The slick tires doesn't really matter on this one because you wouldn't put this one on any twisty, rainy stuff anyways, because of course the 4-wheel drive versions of different cars would of course beat this one, so you wouldn't put it anywhere. The Auto Delta, I haven't gotten the privilege to actually test it out. As you can see, I'm currently trying to max it. I've heard it's a very, very good car though. The Rapide S, I haven't really gotten to testing out yet, but it seems like a very good car if you base it on its stats and its top speed. The MRA is around 70 though, so it's not very good MRA wise, but you know, what can you do? We have the Audi S1. Decent car, helps me on medium sometimes. I would rate it 6 out of 10. It's slightly better than average at 22RQ. Nothing to put in the Christmas tree for sure. Then we have this 440. This one is very good. Medium ground clearance. This one tears up the city streets for sure. Would definitely rate it an 8 out of 10. Good car for sure. The M6. This one has been a staple of my garage. 200 days and 800 races. A 8 out of 10 for sure. Definitely a very good car for the fast things because of its beautiful MRA that it is carrying. The X6, slightly underwhelming for its stats, but it's still pretty good and it helps me a lot in my everyday Top Drives life. So I am happy about this car. I would put it at 8 out of 10 as well. The BMWs are very consistent with being slightly less than awesome, you know, like just slightly worse than really good. Like they are very good, but they are not really good. Do you understand what I mean? I don't know if you do. The CTS Coupe is very good. I would put it at 8 out of 10 as well. It's just a very solid 4-wheel drive standard tires car that everybody should have, and if you don't have it, unlucky. If you do get it, don't fuse it, please, for the love of God. The STS is decent. It's a 6 out of 10 car, but it's a very niche car as well, so I would probably put it up to 6.5 out of 10, because if you use this car correctly, it's actually pretty good for you, and I am happy I have it maxed out, let's just say that. The Camaro SS Coupe is good. 3.893 is actually quite ridiculous. I would rate this car very highly. Very good car for sure. I would say 8.5 out of 10 even. Very good. The Colorados should be epic. There is no doubt about it. They should be 24 RQ epic. These are absolutely dreadfully broken. 10 out of 10. At ultra rare, I would probably put them somewhere at like 12, 13 out of 10, because they are so good. Definitely get as many Colorados as you can, max them out, because they will go epic. Mark my words. And if you see another video 4 months from today and I have 2 maxed epic Colorados, I told you so. I told you so. They will go epic, trust me. Definitely keep them. They are a valid investment. Also, if you just get one and you don't want to max it, keep it. It will become legendary fuse material when it goes to epic. This will go to epic. There is no doubt in my mind. The Tahoe Custom is alright, 6 out of 10. The Metropolis is alright, 6 out of 10. Actually helps out a lot with being medium. The RS 500 is actually surprisingly good. I would put it at 8 out of 10. The RS 200s are very good, but not as good as people would have. People worship these cars like they were gods. I would say they are 8 out of 10s, you know? So they are not the best, but they are definitely useful, and you should have a couple. The Sierra All-Terrain I am not upgrading yet, so I do not know, but it's pretty much what the Colorado should be. It's like, this is how a 22 RQ four-wheel drive off-roader should look like. Not like this. This is just overwhelmingly busted. This is going to go epic. Invest. The Legend is very good. It's very good. 7 out of 10. 7.5 even. It is not as good as the Cadillac in my opinion, but it is almost as good. And it's beautiful. I actually think it's quite good looking, I must say. The Carlton, good MRA, very good car, 8 out of 10. It's always been solid. It helps you out sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. It's just a solid car. It's a key car you should definitely have. The Exige, I haven't gotten around to actually doing anything with it, but I've heard it's absolutely ridiculously good. So yeah, I would probably rate it 9 out of 10 just based on of what other people say and my own experiences playing against it. The S63, a beautiful car, actually quite good. I would rate it 7 out of 10. Yeah, decent. The Black Series, I would rate this 7 out of 10 as well. It's decent. These cars are very good. I remember when they used to be epic, and I could definitely see why Hutch justified them being epic. I think they work as well as ultra rares, so I wouldn't hold my breath about these going up to epic again. I think they do fit very well at 22 RQ, but they are very good at 22 RQ, so definitely keep them. I would probably rate them 9.5 out of 10. Very good cars. The Porsche Boxster is decent, 7 out of 10. The Rally after the nerf is actually still very good, 8.5 out of 10 for sure. If you don't know, they got a top speed nerf, but they are still very, very good, and I'm glad I have 2 maxed out. The BTRs are also very good. I don't have any maxed out, so I don't want to put a rating on it, but they are very good indeed. This is a new car I got. I cannot tell you anything about it. The TVR Tamora and the TVR Tuscan. Very good cars. Both of them, not so versatile. They do their best work on the drags, of course, and on the test bowls, and that is just what they do. I would put the Tuscan at 7 out of 10, and I would put the Tamora at 8 out of 10. The BMW 535, don't bother with this car. It's a 5 out of 10. You shouldn't max it, honestly. The X5 has the style icon tag, which makes it very interesting. I would put it at probably 8 out of 10 because of its decent mid-range. It's actually better than you might think at 21 RQ. The 7360 I'm gonna get to maxing out. This is the new price car, of course. I'm gonna get to maxing that one out at some point. The Evoluzione is very good. Definitely would put it at 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Helps you a lot in those Italian rainy events. The Lotus 340s are exceptional, 9.5 or even 10 out of 10, somewhere there. Both of those are amazing and I'm really happy to have them. The Grand Cabrio and the Grand Cabrio. The MC is slightly better than the normal Grand Cabrio. The MC is like an 8.5 out of 10 and the Grand Cabrio is like a 7.5 out of 10. No, the Grand Cabrio is like an 8.5 out of 10 and the Grand Cabrio is like a 7 out of 10. Both are decent. The G63 for hill climbs, of course it's a 10 out of 10. For everything else it's more of like a 6 out of 10. So if you want a hill climb car in the ultra rare category, definitely look no further. This one is decent and I do understand why they put it down to 21. It is a 21 car, not very good for 22 RQ, but for 21 RQ I would put it at 7 out of 10 probably. The Lancer Reaver 1, also 7 out of 10 car, just, you know, a decent car, good to have sometimes. The Ram 1500 Rebel, it's a price car. I haven't gotten much use out of it, but in terms of stats, it's probably like a 7 out of 10. These ones are absolutely amazing. If you do not have the Megane 275 trophies already, definitely try to get them. These are definitely 9 or even 10 out of 10. They do a lot of work. If you don't know, these are medium. Yeah, medium and 98 handling at 21 RQ. They are absolutely crazy. Definitely check them out if you don't have them. The Roof 3400S. Good car, just a decent car, 7 out of 10. Mito, actually very, very good on the city streets, 8 out of 10 for sure. The Aerovet, that's a good car. It's a good car for the drags. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. So yeah, that would probably for me be a 6.5 out of 10. Probably somewhere around there. The Trailblazer is actually very good on the drags, of course. It's a good RQ saving or RQ compensating car. Definitely keep the one you get from the Carrier. This is mine from the Carrier. So yeah, it's good. You will have a lot of use for it. The Dodge Charger Daytona is indeed medium. I would recommend keeping one, not two like I have. I have actually maxed this one as well. But keep one for sure. 7.5 out of 10. The Countach is good, but it's not very good. So it's like a 6.5 out of 10. Like, keep it if you want to, but it's quite trivial, honestly. The Discovery is decent. I'm using it in the finals currently. It's doing quite well. I would rate it probably a 7 out of 10, honestly. The Exige S2 is very underwhelming. 97 handling and a good mid-range, but you never, or you don't never, but you very rarely get to use that mid-range. So I would rate it probably 6.5 out of 10 in terms of usefulness. The Tipo Birdcage is absolutely beautiful. That's all we're gonna say about it. The Desir is a great car still. If you don't have one, keep one, and if you have one, keep it. It's very good. It's very, very good. The Roof R56 going up to Ultra Rare is probably not as good anymore. I would rate it probably a 7.5, maybe 7 out of 10 now. Before it was an 8.5 out of 10 for sure. The Golf is very good now at 20 RQ. Probably 9 out of 10, honestly. Very, very good now at its current place. The 7 is good. Very good car. 8 or 9 out of 10. And so is the Elise. Very good. Keep it from the Carrier. It's definitely useful. Solstice is like the Elise for America. It's quite alright. It's slightly worse than the Elise. The TVR Griffith is decent at 19 RQ. It also has the style icon tag. Yeah, it's like a 6 out of 10. But it's very, very niche. If you have the capacity to max it because of its niche, then do it. The XC90 I've maxed just because it's a Swedish car, of course. It's not too good, but it's also not too bad actually, I have realized. So I would probably rate it 6.5 out of 10. It's better than you might expect. Okay, let's move on to the epics now. We are almost through the entire garage, guys. Okay, epics. We're starting off strong with the RS3 Sportback and the RS7 Sportback. Both of these are magnificent cars, and I really enjoy both of them. If you get any of them, I think it goes without saying, but keep them, keep them. I'm not gonna rate any of these on the star system because these are of course epics. This one I got recently. Cool car, cool car. I've maxed out the handling now. Interesting is what it is. I'm not gonna talk too much about every car. You're just gonna have to decide for yourself. I'm gonna show you some cars, I think. I'm not gonna talk too much about them. This one has 90% win ratio. Crazy. We have the CT6, which I recently maxed out. Good car. Good car, good car, solid car. The SRT Hellcat, of course. Very interesting car. I have the normal Hellcat as well, but no wide body. Just like Blossom. But I haven't opened like... how many is it? Like 50 carbon fibers to try to get it, but he has, which is actually quite ridiculous. I think I got these two in the manner of 4 Dodge carbon fibers, maybe 5, which is nice. I have the 211 supercharged. I have the Elise Cup 250. Both good cars. The Mazda Ferrari, the beast, the legendary car. Like, it's absolutely legendary. Top Gear. Blasted it to bits, of course, which is unfortunate, but you know, it will live on forever in our hearts. The two McLaren Mercedes-Benzes, well, they are McLarens, you know. Very good cars, both of them. I'm glad I have both. The Carrera is good. The Megane trophies, of course, I am very happy to have 3 of them. The compressor is absolutely ballistic. I'm happy to have that. The Disco Volante is absolutely good. It's better than good. It's actually very great. After the buff this received, it's actually quite good. I've done 1 upgrade on handling on this, and it's actually quite good because it has good mid-range. It does very well on the city streets indeed. Then I have my maxed out Carrier Camaro, and that's actually the one I got from the actual Carrier. This one. And this one is maxed out. I have done plenty of race with this one. As you can see, it's 400 days old. And this one is another that I got. But, well, it's a very good car. Definitely keep your Carrier Camaro. Don't be dumb and sell it. Definitely don't. Or refuse it or whatever. The Corvette, I have 2 of them. I don't know if I should even have 2. Like, it's not very good, but okay. Numero 9, absolutely exceptional car. Not gonna say anything else. I have 2 Mustang Bosses. They come in handy sometimes, honestly. I have the F-Pace, of course, the Diablo. I have my 4 Gallardo Spiders. Like, my garage is getting quite ridiculous. When I just scroll through it like this, which I very rarely do, I can see that I have a good garage now. Like, honestly, it's getting quite good, I must say. I have 2 of the Levante S, of course. I have the Exige, the maxed out Evos. Both of them are very good. I have the price car, abysmally bad. I have the 4C, the CSR. Beautiful car, of course. I have the Ford SVT Raptor. I have another one backup. This one is getting maxed at some point. They are just so good at 24 RQ. It's ridiculous. The Cyclone, which is hopefully gonna get buffed at some point. The Diablo SV. Good mid-range on that one. The Quattroporte, not very good car. I did 2 fuses on this. Quite regrettably, but I did it, so yeah. The 7.8, it did help me get the CN though. I think it did so. The 718 Boxster, okay, nothing special. The Range Rover 5.0 and my 2 R5 Maxis, which are actually super good now that they are 23 RQ. Like, they are super good. Definitely keep hold of those if you get any. Alright, only 1 category left. We have 13 legendaries to go through, and all of these are my prized possessions. I am so happy to have each and every one. We start off with the Guardian, which is my own custom Acura NSX, of course. Custom, what do I mean by that? I mean that I've given it a name. It is the Guardian. This is no longer an Acura NSX. If you could change the name here, I definitely would. As you can see, it is maxed on weight and chassis. Yeah, it's just maxed, you know. absolutely ballistic, the Acura NSX. I have the Lamborghini Huracan Performante. This one is absolutely lovely. 1 free, 1 free, 1 free, and already beast-like. I'm definitely maxing this next for sure. The GT90, beautiful and very good car. The 12C I recently maxed out, and with this one maxed out, you will win a lot of races. I've done over 3.8 thousand races with this one. This is my one from the Carriero, obviously. Definitely work on the McLaren you get from the Carriere if you have no better legendaries to work on. I have the McLaren F1, brilliant car. The GTR, my absolutely favorite car in real life. In terms of usefulness in top drives, it's not very useful, but it is very beautiful to look at, and I am happy this one graces my garage, honestly. The Nissan Juke R, not have had very much use for that yet, but yeah. I have my 2 roof legendaries, very, very beautiful, of course, both of them. The Cadillac Sienne, I won the prize car. I have the Murcielago, which is very underwhelming in my opinion. I really dislike this car. I think this is the legendary I dislike most in my garage, and I think that's horrible to say because it is actually a Lamborghini, but I do dislike it quite a lot. The other Lamborghini I absolutely adore though, the Huracan, but yeah. And the Murcielagos were never my favorite kind of Lamborghini. I always loved the Gallardos growing up. I have no real childhood story with the Murcielago, so I can't really relate as much to it. The Nissan Road car, of course, I've upgraded this on handling and chassis. It's actually a pretty solid legendary. Yeah, very nice. And then I have the only legendary in my garage, which is not up to par. Like, this one actually helps me sometimes in the rain. This one helps me never. Like, this one doesn't help me, but it is very cool to look at, so that's why I keep it around. But yeah, that was my entire top drives garage, my 700 cars. I don't know how long this video has been. It feels like I've been talking for an absolute decade. But yeah, without any further ado, guys, thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave it a like. Subscribe to become a part of our ever-growing family. Over 2,000 people, I can't believe it. My Instagram, top drives related Instagram, is down below in the description. My newly launched Discord server is down below in the description. Definitely come and hang out with us. And as well as my Patreon if you are interested in that stuff. Anyways, guys, that is the end of today's video. If you did enjoy it, thank you so much, and thank you for always watching my videos. Until next time, guys, have a good one, stay safe, take care of one another, and goodbye.